You can satisfy your mandatory recreational reporting requirement one of two ways, both of which are accessible from our home webpage at mrc.virginia.gov. Coming down into the blue header at the top and selecting Forms and Permits, and then clicking on Forms. This brings you to our form index. You are welcome to scroll through and browse all the forms, but for the purposes of reporting your recreational cobia, you can simply come down and click on Fisheries Harvest Reporting. And then come down to the row that reads Reporting Form for Recreational Cobia and Black Sea Bass or Other Species as Required by Regulation. If you would prefer to report on a form and send it to VMRC by email, fax, or snail mail, you can click on the words Adobe. This will take you to the recreational reporting form. We're going to use our staff example, Mr. Oyster, to fill this form out. So include your first and last name, your MRC ID. Mr. Oyster only has an MRC ID with 4 numbers in it, but yours could have up to 7 numbers and begin with an N. You'll then come down and select the species associated with your permit. And just as another reminder, recreational reporting is mandatory for cobia. You'll select your mode of fishing and then continue on. Here in the red are directions to check the box to the left if you have the permit but did not fish this year. This simply means that you got the permit with the intention of going out and targeting, for example, cobia, but something happened, your boat broke down, you just never quite made it, and you didn't actually go out and fish for cobia. If that's the case, you will report no activity by checking this box. If you did use your permit this year, do not check this box. Instead, you'll come down and report any and all trips. You will report those trips even if you did not catch cobia. So Mr. Oyster went out on July 4th, 2020. And he was fishing for cobia. He was the operator of his vessel, so he has to report for himself and the other anglers that he took out on his vessel. So he went out with one other buddy, so he will report 2 anglers. They each caught 1 cobia that they could keep, and they released 3 cobia. They went out a second time on the 5th of July, and again targeted cobia. It was Mr. Oyster and his buddy again. They did not keep any cobia, and they actually didn't release any. So they still are reporting a trip even though they did not catch any cobia. These are the only 2 trips that Mr. Oyster took this year. So he's completed the reporting form. But if he wanted to, he could scroll down to the second page and provide additional optional information on the fish he caught on July 4th and July 5th. He can give us the length and weight if he has it, and also the method of fishing, the bait he used, whether or not he targeted the cobia or he accidentally caught them when he was fishing for something else, and where he caught them. This information is optional, but it's helpful for us to further characterize the cobia fishery in Virginia. So this form is now complete. Mr. Oyster can print it and mail it to us or fax it, or he can save it and email it to us at fisheries@mrc.virginia.gov. He also did not have to fill it out online. He could have printed it before filling it out and handwriting all of these things in here.